G'day, Ethan.
Good day.
I don't know if you know, we've got a night school operating here at EIT, and I hear you've got a night school as well. I'd love to hear about how you got your night school started, but really importantly, why? What are the benefits of having a night school?
That's a story of WIT, and It was started in 2020. My colleague, her name is Mei Chen, Lin Mei Chen. She was recruited for day school, and she was recruited from Auckland, and she moved to. Actually, she was during the COVID. She doesn't want to stay in Auckland, and she was trying for opportunity to go out from Auckland, and she ended up working at WIT. Initial thought is to do day school, normal school, and teach construction diploma in constructions and quantity surveying. When the program started, all the locals, all the, for example, LBP, one of the students is LBP, carpentry. There are students already graduated who are working in the industry, and one of the students is, if I remember, she has a degree in business. So they came back to the schools and they say, okay, because we are working individual, we have our we have our life at daytime, but we want to upgrade our knowledge. And so that's the only practical way. So my department head and Michin, they discuss, and okay, the only possible way to do is like a night school. And they started a night school. I think after first terms, they recruited me. So I'm not the founder of the course, but even I would say that not the tutors, the head of school, and even the students are the founder of that night school. So our schools are starting from at 5 to 8. So it is very flexible. So what happens is all the locals are benefiting just studying at night, come and also they are quite happy about the arrangement. If there is no night school, they are unable to study or they are unable to upgrade the knowledge. And also another things like what you mentioned earlier, it's networking because they have the chance to know each other, which is really good. I'm also very happy I can contribute the local economy because obviously they came back to all the students so far. All the students completed diploma in constructions or quantity surveying. They all get a job, which is the record. I'm really proud of it. So yeah, that a brief history of WIT as a night school.
I see. That's quite cool. It's interesting that the local industry or the local people came to you and said, we'd like a night school. Ours didn't work like that. Um, the way ours got off the ground is that Andrew and I talked about the day class and the night class, and we thought there was a real opportunity for people to retrain themselves at night. We started getting a little bit of traction. We designed a course, and we designed it based on our current day course, which meant we didn't have to get approval for a separate course because it's the same course, but just done part-time and in the evening. Well, what we thought was that there must be people in the local industry who have worked hard all their life, but maybe they're not happy with where they're going. Originally, I thought maybe builders, people who are sick of being in the drains, but sick of being in the mud, they're tired, their backs are sore, that maybe they'd like to retrain into an office job. I'm not sure I'm right about that, but I still think that there must be an opportunity for people. Let's say, for example, you've messed around at school, you've ended up, all you do is stock shelves at the local supermarket. Where's your opportunity to change your life? And that was what I thought with my night school was I really wanted to give people who have made a mistake or not made the best choices the ability to redesign their life, to retrain themselves, and to go into the industry. We started with about 15 students. We've lost quite a few because quite a lot of students, once the work got hard, they realized they didn't really want to do this because working all day or looking after kids all day, coming to night school, it's really hard work. And so we've actually set up the room with tea and coffee. When they arrive, we make sure they've had something to eat, something to drink. Sometimes I provide food, sometimes I provide biscuits, sometimes the others do. So we want to make, because if you think about it, we start at 4 o'clock. It's not enough time to have dinner, and then we don't finish until 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Sometimes it's a bit late to have dinner. So we want to make sure that they've got some energy because the other problem, of course, is if they don't have energy at night, they might just not concentrate. But coming back to the reason for it, Andrew and I had been starting to generate a little bit of interest in the local economy with this night school idea. Then I was chatting to my boss, and we talked to him about setting up this idea of the night school, and he, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then one day he said, how many people are interested? And I said, we've got about 15 people interested. He said, why aren't we running it? Let's get it going. And so it took us probably only a month, and we had it up and running, and we started it off kilter from the normal school. So the normal school starts in January, and we started this in July on the idea that it would just be off-centered, and we thought it'd be a good idea to offset it, but maybe it's not, but we'll see. But the idea, my idea anyway, was that I think that once the students have finished their first year of full-time study, that they could actually use the night school to finish their diploma. So it'd be a 3-year diploma. They'd do a whole year in class, go and get a job in an office, and then come to night school every week to build their skill so that they can then complete their LBP later on. But I just thought it'd be really cool. You need an employer who's willing to be flexible, willing to take on that student at that stage. But when they started the amalgamation of all of our polytechs, one of the big issues was learner-centered learning, being flexible to the industry, being able to make it easier for students to learn. And I think that the night school ticks all of those boxes because you can work all day, you can come in the evening. It's staged so that, for example, our students are coming Monday, Wednesday night. So they come Monday night, they got Tuesday night off, then they come back Wednesday night, then they got the rest of the week to finish off their assessments. And we do a lot of staged assessments so that they're handing in a little bit each week. So each week we cover, I'm teaching construction administration at the moment. So we're covering 3901, we covered the CCA, the Construction Contracts Act. So we then expect them to write a page about the Construction Contracts Act. I mark it, give it back to them before the next week. So every week they're handing in something so that they're making that progress. It's a workbook, and the next section, I think they've got 3 or 4 topics to do. But we wanted to give them the opportunity to hand in early, get feedback, get their ideas in line, and then start working on the bigger projects. They've been through the course now. This is their 5th. So they've done 2 whole years now. And now they're into their second half of their course. And they're really enjoying it. They're really developing. They're becoming very skilled. And I still think that right now they've reached the point where they could actually go and get a job in an office with the right employer. And that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see almost like an apprentice. So it would end up being almost like an apprenticeship scheme. We do first year's full-time, the next 2 years are part-time in the evening. And then the student can work during the day, and they can then bring their skills that they've learnt from their office into the classroom, and the classroom can give them skills to go back to the office with. And I think there's a real win-win situation going on there. I did write an article about it, and there was a couple of things that I said in the article that I wrote. Let me just go through what I said. Because flexible learning, it gives you the ability to balance your study and your work so that you never have to give up the work. There are a lot of people that are just getting by, and the night school gives those people the opportunity to come to night school without giving up their day job. They don't have to take a student loan,
Yes.
but if they do, it's only the school fees, which is probably about $16,000 spread over 4 years. So it's about $4,000 a year. You can get a student loan for that, I think.
Yeah.
It depends, but we'd have to see. But at least it's a small amount of money. You can do time payment. You can pay it off over time. You're only doing 2 papers a semester or 4 a. So the idea was that flexible work balance, making that flexible time to get the job and then come and do the study. Bring in their practical experience to working during the day, bring in their experience in at night, and particularly once they're in an office, taking what they've learnt during the night school and applying it during the day, and then feeding back the next night or the next week. What did you implement? What have you learnt? Let's make the classes much more of a sharing situation. So the idea that you can actually build your skills while you're working would be such a fantastic idea. The ability to keep earning as you're working through your diploma, what you might call earn while you learn. So you continue to
Yeah.
work while you study, and it should really start to alleviate some of the financial stress. because it's because you're still working full time. The networking opportunities, connecting with the industry professionals through the work that you're doing, going to so once you're working in that industry, then start to attend the professional meetings, going to the NZIA meetings, going to the ADNZ meetings, making sure you meet with the professionals in the industry. We've spoken to the people that employ our students. We know what we need to teach because we've got the feedback from that, and we
Yeah.
made sure that the course covered all that stuff. It's just such a win-win. I just don't understand why there aren't more people that are filling up our class or knocking at our door saying, "Please let me in."
I think we just need to promote our course, and I think most of the prospective students they have no idea we are running at night schools. I think we need to talk a bit more about that, or maybe quite frequently about that, our night school programs. For us, I think for EdWIT, I think this is the only constructions management and quantity surveying. I think for you is more on the architectural technologies, and for me there are some co-taught courses which I'm teaching at night schools. So it's important because as last week I told you about my master degree was the product of night school because I finished my master degree in Singapore, and while I was working full time, and I did night school because I think that I want to upgrade my knowledge, and it's very accessible. So I told my boss I want to study for night schools, and can you? I think it started at 5 o'clock, if I'm not wrong. So I finished my work also finished at 5. So I told my boss, well, can I leave a bit early? So I take my after that from work. Maybe I left about 30 minutes early. I took the train and I started my school and I finished it. And that's how is it. And it's the knowledge I gained through night school is invaluable. And the degree I got because of I end up teaching in New Zealand because of the degree because I'm qualified, and that's very important for the industrial professionals when they want to upgrade. And I want to tell you about one of my students. He is already at LBP. He is quite successful, and he is really committed. He always come to the class. He try. His grades is always A and B's. And I asked him, how come you're doing this? And he said, oh, some of the course he already know, but he said he is enjoying it. That's very important. When you study, you need to enjoy it. And also he pick up some of the things he doesn't know. For example, he is quite good at technical because obviously he is an LPP. Mainly, he came back because he wants to learn the business side of it. At the time, what he comes here was to know how to do the quotations, quantity surveying, coding. So that's the business side of it. That's what he was doing. There are another ladies also. They are already in the construction industry. So they just came back and they just filled the knowledge gaps. And good thing is they are adult and they are already relatively successful in their life, and they help each other also because it's the networking. What I look at is everybody is winning in the classroom, and they're earning, they are making money at daytime. Of course, there are a lot of, for example, they need to rearrange their life just for the 3 hours of class, and they need to do their assignment. So that's a bit of commitment. But the thing is, they come to the school because they enjoy. If day school at the start, it's happened to be night school because of their request. If day school, these people can't come to the school and study. So this is a viable solution for New Plymouth people, and they do study constructions, quantity surveying, and architectural technologies, and a few has been already graduated. As I mentioned, they got the degree. They are working in the industry, which is really good. I think we will be continuing as night school, and I think we'll be successful. The only thing is we need to promote more so that those industrial professionals or who wants to upgrade their knowledge, and they will be very happy about that. I think, yeah, it is. I'm also quite happy that you're also doing night school. So If there was no night school, I wouldn't get my master in Sing. That's how is it. And
Well,
another thing I want to highlight is Singapore system as well, because in Singapore run diploma as night school because you have a commitment, you need to make money. It's expensive. The life is expensive there. You can't commit your times at the schools and you have bills to pay. This is the most practical approach. You need to
that
gain knowledge, yeah,
that's one of the
and you
main
need to
thing
be
that worries
practical.
me, and that is
Hmm.
that Singapore has this culture of going to night school. My brother
Yeah.
went to night school in California and did paralegal studies. There's a culture in America of going to night school. Arnold Schwarzenegger went to night school around his bodybuilding work. So there are other places where there's a real culture of night school, and the expectation is that you will be able to go and develop yourself at night. We know that those people work hard because they have to. They work during the day and they work in the evening. And I'm troubled that there might be people in New Zealand that would like to do this work, but it's not normal for them to go to night school. Whereas in other places like Singapore, it's quite common for people to go to night school. In America, it's common for people to go to night school and develop their skills. I agree with you, we need to promote it more, but we also need to promote, I think, the benefits of it and get people to change their mind about working in the evening, working hard, and making their lives improved.
But I'm willing to help anyway. With the night school and
Thank you
all
very
those
much.
things.
We do need to promote it. So we do need
Yeah.
to do some stuff. We'll talk about that offline, I think. But for this podcast, I think we just needed to let people know that we are looking at other ways of learning, that night school is a fantastic option. We've got a builder at our night school. We've got a guy who did viticulture and now he's retraining as an architectural technologist. We've got people who have wanted to do this all their lives, but they just couldn't get to the day class. There's something happened,
Hmm.
and now they've got this opportunity to relearn and retrain. And I'd love to
Hmm.
see the stories of more people who want to change
Hmm.
their lives going through
Hmm.
this. I think this is one of the most rewarding parts of doing the night school because it takes extra work for you and I to run our night classes.
Yeah.
There are lots of colleges, I think, where they don't run night school because the tutors aren't willing to do that extra work. But I'm happy to put in that extra work to help change people's lives. I just think it's such a rewarding thing to see these students who couldn't see the future can now see themselves finishing this course and changing their lives. It sounds corny. I shouldn't really get emotional about it, but to me, it's a really rewarding part of the job.
Yeah. Yeah. True. It's true. All right. I think we should
I think
end
we've
the
covered
podcast.
everything. I think we need to promote it. We need to write an article about this.
I think that's all for this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye for
We've got
now.
I'm interviewing Gus Watt next week. Gus Watt has got some really humorous buildings. I get on really well with them, so I'm hoping that we'll get some really good stories out of him. So
Hmm.
listen for us next week.
Yeah. All right. Okay. See you next week.
See you.
Bye.